Hi, I'm Chad Huebener.
And I'm Sara Huebener with Edina Realty, and today we are going to be talking about what happens when something goes wrong between the inspection contingency period and closing, particularly when a mechanic fails or the roof is damaged.
Yeah. So first thing to know is this happens, and it happens more frequently than you think, and it's of nobody's fault, but things fail. Furnaces, water heaters, like Sara mentioned, damage to a roof. Those things do happen, unfortunately, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
And the first thing to do is, if you are a seller and something happens, if you come downstairs and find your water heater is leaking or the storm damaged the roof, let your agent know right away. The very first thing that we want to do is communicate so that all parties can be involved in the process, because essentially the buyer is purchasing the home in a certain condition, and now the condition has changed. So we are going to begin with open communication from day one.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and this has happened to us in the last couple of weeks even. Is when something does happen, I think the first instinct of a seller is, I want to take care of that and let's get something ordered and get something fixed right away. And what we say is right away is hold off a second. Let's communicate that with the buyers, just to see if there's an opportunity for a buyer to upgrade or if they want something different. Doesn't mean that they're going to back out if the water heater goes or the furnace goes, because like we said, stuff happens. So what we want to do is just communicate. So for example, a couple weeks ago, we were just doing a transaction and the furnace decided to go bye-bye right before closing. So the seller immediately calls an HVAC company, goes, I'm going to get a new furnace put in. So I said, well, just hold on. Let's just talk to the buyer's agent and see if there's an opportunity where if the buyer wants that exact same furnace or would they want to pay extra and upgrade. So they chose they wanted the same furnace, but that was just one of the scenarios that we did.
Sometimes the buyer wants to pay extra and have the upgrade, so they'll pay the difference between the equivalent furnace to an upgraded furnace.
Yeah, but the key is just to communicate and just let all parties know, and we can work through it that way.
And that also creates happier transactions at the closing table. Hopefully this answered your questions about what happens if something goes wrong with my mechanicals or the roof just prior to closing. And if we can answer any other questions for you today, let us know.